I mean, why? You're going to burn generations to the ground trying to remove people who have nowhere else to go, whose entire story is that they are refugees kicked out of multiple continents. Mahmoud Abbas himself, Abu Mazen himself, has written bitterly against the Arab world for kicking out all its Jews and anti-Semitism, and he writes, if the Mizrahi and Sephardi Jews had never joined Zionism because the Arabs forced them to, Zionism wouldn't have been viable. Now, those refugees who know they can't go back to Baghdad any more than they could go back to, I don't know, get a third of Warsaw back, why can't they wake up from this? Why, as a political culture, individual Palestinians, by the way, can acknowledge everything. As soon as somebody says that Israel might be stuck here, Professor Muhammad Dajani from Al-Quds University, he is a Palestinian nationalist who demands a Palestinian state. He took his class to Auschwitz because if we don't understand the Jews, we're not going to be able to interact with the Jews. We're not going to be able to even win from the Jews our independence. For taking his class to Auschwitz, he was kicked out of Al-Quds University. His car was firebombed. He basically had to flee for a while until things died down. Why is the slightest Palestinian acknowledgement that the Jews might be stuck here? What drives it?
That is the Palestinian cause. Resist to the last establishment Jewish sovereignty in any part of the land. It also explains why whenever Palestinians are faced with a choice, they always choose not to settle for an Arab state in part of the land and to keep fighting until the Jews have nothing. Because the Palestinian identity was forged around negation, not around a positive desire, it also found itself fueled from a very early stage by every anti-Semitic and anti-Zionist power for the last century. People try to pretend now that the Mufti just had lunch with Hitler, but it was a full-on collaboration. We're actually paying the price that the Arab world was not denazified at the end of World War II. Al-Husseini was able to run away from trial in Nuremberg. Now, everyone says Hamas is an Islamist organization. You read the Hamas charter, it's 50-50, 50% Nazism, 50% Islamism. And then when the Nazis, were defeated, then it was the pan-Arabists that really turned Palestinianism into this secular theology. And the Soviets have literally taken Palestinianism and anti-Zionism global, and Iran has used it, and now Turkey and Qatar. And we're seeing it now happen in real time. When Gazans are trying to speak up, we're trying to say, we don't need the global left to use Palestine as its abstract marker of utopia. It doesn't help us. They are the ones that are shoved aside and silenced. And the tragedy ultimately of the Palestinians is that they have been too useful to too many outside powers that basically wanted them to keep fighting.